How is it that so many Israelis are able to be so resolute in the face of so much hostility, in the face of so much being surrounded by so many people that want them dead, and global hostility as well, that they're able to have such bravery to avoid the pitfalls of the modern Western Gen Z culture that is so self-indulgent, so obsessive on being a victim? How have they managed to avoid that and produce a new generation who are so confident, so clear on what's morally true, and not indulging in victim narratives, not spending time focused on that, just being pragmatic, trying to move forward? How do they do that? Douglas Murray presents a theory which I think is actually pretty compelling. Have a watch at what he says.
My view is Israel lives in reality. That's the truth of it. Israel lives in reality, which is a reality that the jungle is real. You know, the monsters really do exist. And I find one explanation for the lack of empathy for Israel in the West now is that we would rather push away the people who've discovered something we don't want to discover than to discover it ourselves. But, you know, as I say, the people in the West who obsess about this in such a negative way, just one quick one. Somebody said to me at one of the Nova reunions, a young guy who'd seen the most terrible things, said to me, "What would you do if this happened in your country?" And I said, "I don't know." But actually, the thing that went through my head was, but it has happened in my country. Not to that scale, but we had the Manchester Arena bombing, where 22 young girls were blown up for the crime of going to an Ariana Grande concert. The Bataclan in Paris, the terrorists went through the disabled section and shot everyone in the back of the head. So we have had tastes of it. But the other week I was sent a video of a concert at the Bataclan the other week where the crowd were all chanting "Free Palestine." And so I sort of thought, well, again, maybe, and I have thought this for a long time, maybe instead of seeing that Israel is the forerunner of the West and the outpost of the West, there will be a type of person who blames Israel for our own problems. And you see it. My country, Britain, is struggling very badly with this at the moment. The Prime Minister just gave a very unusual announcement on the steps of Downing Street saying that our democracy is under threat because we had groups of Palestinian activists so intimidating members of Parliament that Parliament couldn't operate. Well, that's, you know, and people will say, oh, that's because Israel shouldn't be fighting in Gaza. No, it's because you've lost control of your country in London. Anyhow, it's a long-winded answer, but
I think what he says is so poignant. Israel has to live in reality. And in fact, I saw in his interview with Alon Levy, he was talking about why were so many Israeli Arabs, by and large, they weren't critical of Israel's response in Gaza, and they have been shocked by what Hamas did, and they're scared of Hamas, to be honest. Don't forget, Israeli Arabs were killed on October 7th. Because they have to live with reality too. It's not about whether you're a Jew or an Arab. It's about what do you want and are you facing reality head on? Israel doesn't have a choice. They have to face reality. The left in Israel and the right in Israel both believe we have to go into Gaza and defeat Hamas. When you live with reality on your doorstep, there's no time for ideology. Reality is reality. You can talk about, oh, well, it wouldn't be so nice to get back to a two-state solution and we need peace. Yeah, you can say that from many, many miles away in America. If you're in Israel, you have to face reality. And so it's living a very comfortable life and indulging in ideology that makes people weak and delusional and morally confused, where they see the world not for how it is, but how they want it to be. I think that's one of the big problems that we see in the world today, with those who are critical of what Israel's doing, saying, oh, come on, surely you can just try and make peace, go back to the negotiating table. Yeah, you're saying that because you don't actually live in reality, the reality of what Israel faces. You're saying that from the comfort of your home many, many miles away. If you have to face reality, there's no more time for ideology. There's no more time for victimhood. There's no more time for narcissism and self-indulgence. You just have to get on with it. Maturity happens through necessity. If there isn't a necessity, then you don't mature. But if you need to, you can mature at a very, very young age if need be. And we've seen the most incredible acts of heroism from Israel's youth in the last few months, the likes of which the world, and especially the Western world, who face a crisis among youth today, should be in awe and say, Israel, teach us how we can learn from you. Well, it seems the key to it all is having a clear sense of reality and what is true and what is false. And I think Douglas Murray is spot on in that analysis.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.